If you ever see me walking around Ridgewood in Queens, you will likely notice houses similar to these ones in my videos. These are known as Stier houses, designed by the local architect Paul Stier. At the end of this road, not on this side of the street but on the other, those were the very first houses that Paul Stier built in Ridgewood back in 1905. Today, I will tell you the story of Paul Stier, the German-born architect who became the Sheriff of Queens and who tragically died while trying to take an armed man into custody. Back in the early 1900s, all of the streets that I will be mentioning in this video had a lettered street name, but for the purpose of this video, I will be using their numbered street names that are currently in use today. Paul Stier was born in Mecklenburg, Germany in 1874. He immigrated to the United States in 1891 at the age of 17, settling in Buffalo, New York. After a few years working in construction, beginning as a bricklayer, he moved to Ridgewood, Queens in his 20s and married Anna Muller in 1898. Stier built his first house in 1902, likely his residence on 69th Avenue. In 1905, he constructed his first row of houses on this very street, which can be seen on the opposite side at the end of this road. 3 years later, he purchased land on 69th Avenue between Forest Avenue and 60th Lane, and on 70th Avenue between 60th Street and Buckman Avenue. On this land, Stier built two-family brick homes that sold for $5,600 each, with buyers needing a $500 down payment and paying the balance over time. Each home had 11 rooms on 2 floors, 2 tiled bathrooms, separate furnaces in the basement, and hardwood trim throughout. Stier built 200 homes in this area and planned to build another 144 in the coming years. In May 1909, Stier joined Ridgewood National Bank as a founding member of its organization committee, alongside prominent community members like attorney Alfred Denton and Sebastian Hoffman, owner of Hoffman Hall Picnic Park. In 1910, the bank's president, Louis Berger, helped create Bauer and Stier Incorporated to build residential housing in the area. Stier served as vice president while August Bauer was president and Berger was secretary and treasurer. Stier acquired a large part of the Frederick Ring Farm on the west side of Fresh Pond Road from Catalpa Avenue north to 68th Avenue and west to Buckman Avenue. He laid out 2 streets through the farm, Silver Street, where he built 38 homes, and Hughes Street, where he built 48 houses. The 2-family brick homes were constructed by carpenters working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, for $18 a week. Stier then built 54 3-family brick homes on 71st Avenue, selling for $7,400 each, followed by 48 2-family brick homes on 68th Avenue and 38 brick houses on Elm Avenue. He also built homes on various other streets throughout Ridgewood. In 1913, Stier divorced his wife Anna during a road trip to Reno, Nevada, and subsequently married her younger sister, Bertha. This likely made family gatherings rather awkward. In 1914, Bauer and Stier developed the Wyckoff farmland, constructing 80 6-family brick houses on Gates Avenue, Palmetto Street, Woodbine Street, Madison Street, Putnam Avenue and Cornelia Street, all adjacent to Cypress Avenue. These structures were 3 stories high with 2 flats on each floor. Renters initially paid $15 per month. That same year, Paul Stier built the first full-fledged apartment houses in Queens, at the corner of Cypress Avenue and Woodbine Street. These 4-story brick structures had 4 apartments per floor, with rents at $24 per month for a 4-room, steam-heated apartment. While constructing homes throughout Ridgewood, Stier also became politically active. A Democrat, he founded the Jefferson Democratic Club and was elected Queens County Sheriff in November 1915. However, his duties as sheriff would lead to his tragic death. On October 21st, 1916, 2 of Stier's deputies went to Whitestone Landing to serve an arrest warrant to Frank Taff, who had fallen behind on his rent. When the deputies arrived, Taff threatened them and refused to comply. They reported back to Stier's office. On October 23rd, Stier, Assistant Sheriff Samuel Mitchell, and Patrolman John Durkin went to Taff's residence. Taff, seeing Stier, retrieved a shotgun and opened fire. Stier, 42, was fatally wounded. Durkin attempted to drag Stier's body out, but was forced to flee under fire. A standoff ensued with Taff, who was eventually shot by Sergeant James Fitzgerald using a rifle borrowed from the nearby naval destroyer USS Henley. Stier's death brought an outpouring of emotion from Queens. On October 25th, 200 employees of Paul Stier visited Stier's home to offer their condolences. Stier was initially placed in a receiving vault at All Faiths Cemetery in Middle Village, but was later interred at Maple Grove Cemetery in Kew Gardens, with 50 carriages participating in the procession. Stier was survived by his second wife Bertha, his first wife Anna, his daughter Elsie, and his son George. Despite his tragic death, Paul Stier left a lasting legacy in Ridgewood and its surrounding communities, with Paul Stier constructing over 2,000 homes. He remains one of the most prolific builders of his time in the area. The area north of Myrtle Avenue and east of Fresh Pond Road, back in the early 20th century, was simply known as Stierville, due to the plethora of houses that look exactly like the ones that you are seeing in this video, which were all built by the German builder Paul Stier. So whenever you see me walking around Ridgewood and you see this style of house, you will know moving forward who built them. The information in this story was gathered from the newspaper archives of the Brooklyn Daily Eagle and the Ridgewood Times, plus my own knowledge of where he is buried that is often misstated online. I hope that you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please feel free to leave a like. And if you'd like to comment, I would love to hear from you as well. Take care. Bye for now.